Hello, photographers. Welcome to this episode of Photo Feedback Forum. In this episode, I'm going to take a look at some images that are technically well done, but don't have much impact, while other images do have strong impact. My name is Dack, and I am a photographer and photo judge. And I'm hoping through these critique sessions, I'll help you look at your photos with a critical eye, so that the next time you go out, you'll do so with some intentionality and frame photos so that when someone looks at them later, they'll know why you took them to begin with. If you'd like me to take a look at one of your photos, use the link in the description to send me that file. In the meantime, let's discuss impact with these 5 images right over here. Our first image today is a bird, a flying goose. Compositionally, it's fine. It's a 17. It's slightly going away from us, and I'm good with that. I like where the wings were captured in mid flap. All that works. Plenty of room for the goose to fly into. All of that is good. Got some clouds, but overall, I'd say it's an average composition. There's no context, nothing else to help tell the story. Lighting, I do like the lighting. Got the catch light there. Plenty of light under the wings, showing off the texture there. I do like the lighting. Technical, I think it's sharp enough. Little blur up there, a little motion blur. I'm fine with that. That is kind of like a waterfall. Um, season to taste. Do you want silky smooth? Do you want it stop? Anyway, I'm fine with the blur there. Everything else is sharp. So technical 18. Impact, at least for me, there's not much impact. It's a flying bird, nothing too exciting. And same thing with the story. There's not really much to tell. Maybe if it was flying in formation with a couple other birds, that would make it more interesting. But as it was shot, solo bird on a blue background, 14 for an impact, 14 for storytelling, and that gets an 81. All right, here we have a silhouetted tree. Compositionally, like the last one, it's average. It's 17. I wouldn't mind more space all around. I think that would help tell the story of the lone tree. I think it's cropped in too tight for that. I'm fine with a lone tree in a field. That's a good look. But here it's just okay how it's framed and cropped. Lighting also okay. I do, yeah, I'm fine with the sun being here and this being backlit, so it shows a silhouette. It's not exciting, but it's also not offensive either. So a 17. Broken record here, another 17. Uh, Maybe it could be a little bit sharper there. The treatment done to it is is fine. Looking back here, that's probably blown out, so this maybe should have got a 16 for technical. That's, yeah, unnecessarily bright, I think. So 17 for technical. Just bring those highlights down. I think that would have helped out. And maybe even bring up the shadows down here a little bit. Impact, at least for me, no impact. If if this was the lone tree in a field, I think that would have been good. But a close crop I don't think helps the impact. The star pattern from the sun, that is nice, but not enough to really raise it above a 14. And then same thing with storytelling. A lone tree, maybe next to a dilapidated barn. That's a good story. This is not a compelling story. So I'm going to give it a 79. All right, our next image here is a city waterfall or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's an overflow of some kind. Let's dig into it. Compositionally, and another 17. It's okay. I like the leading line going in there. Obviously, this frames the waterfall nicely. I think there's enough context over here that balances this. It's decent. I'm going to give it a 17 for composition. Lighting, it looks very even. An overcast day. It's not dramatic. It's not offensive. It is just average. So it's a 17. Technical, 16. Wouldn't mind this darkened up a bit here. Wouldn't mind the highlights being brought down there. Maybe even if there was a polarizer filter would have been used. It could have darkened the water there, help bring our attention to the waterfall. The biggest thing is everything is sharp, including everything back there, and that bugs me a little bit. So this is one of those cases where F8 and B there maybe didn't work out. If this was F4 2.8, could have maybe made that area back here a little less noticeable. I think that would have helped the image. It's a waterfall, so it has some interest, some impact there, not beyond a 16 in my opinion. And storytelling, again, there's nothing magical about the image. It's a very ordinary image. It's composed well, it's lit well. It gets an 81. Okay, this is a bold image. Let's see if the boldness translates to a higher score. Compositionally, it's an 18. I scored these before I start recording, and now that I'm recording, I'm thinking this probably should have been a 17. I'm thinking there's way too much space there and there, maybe even a 16. Yeah, compositionally, this is where the action's at. I like this quite a bit. That works. Maybe a little more space between those slices. I like that space there. But overall, I think there's just too much space on the side. So when I list 18, I think it probably should have been a 17, maybe even a 16. Lighting, however, I think is right on the money. I think these are properly exposed. They look good. I like the highlights and the splashing water. Technical, I think it works well. I like the bubbles floating up. Again, I like the splash. Clearly, they were all dropped about the same time. All of that works well. There's sharpness throughout. There's good detail in the slices. That works. And the color for me makes it very impactful. Love the color combo. Love the even blue back there with these colors. I think it is a very impactful shot. And from a storytelling standpoint, it's dropped pieces of fruit and water. Nothing really beyond that. Maybe it's a commercial for a fruit drink or something. I can see that. But beyond that, there's no real storytelling quality to it. Where this image shines is the impact. This one gets a 90. Okay, now we are moving on to what I would consider maybe modern art or contemporary art. How does that fare? How would this fare in a photo competition? Well, compositionally, the elements are well placed. There's enough space there and there. Obviously, we have the balance throughout. We have the circle there, matches the circle there, matches the circle there. All of that works well. I like the composition. Lighting. Lighting, overall I like it. I like it down here. This brighter spot up here is, oops, little distracting for me. If this was even, a nice even, this gradient continued all the way up, I think that would be better. The fact that it's a little dark here and light there, I think I'm going to ping it 17 for lighting. Technical, and there's not a whole lot going on here. It is sharp. Looking at it now, I think that could have been easily removed in post, removed in post, removed in post. So I say 18. This probably should have got a 17. Yeah, maybe even clear that little piece up there. I do like the reflection here. The white pieces here. Again, that could have been worked on in post. So yeah, it's an 18 here, but maybe in reality it should have been a 17. Yeah, that's how it goes. Impact. I think it is interesting. As soon as you see the image, it makes you stop and consider what am I looking at here. So I think it does have impact value of 18. From a storytelling standpoint, maybe not so much. Maybe I was a little harsh on it. Because the more you look at it, you think, maybe what am I seeing here? Maybe there is a story and I'm not getting it. So there's somewhat of a story. I'm kind of talking myself in circles here. I'm going to stick with 15 for the storytelling. That was the first instinct. I think it's impactful, but it doesn't have at least an obvious story. So I'm going to give it an 87. All right, we're going to end with a quote here by Robert Frank. When people look at my pictures, I want them to feel the way they do when they want to read a line of a poem twice. I like that. It's elevating your photos to be more than just a snapshot. Snapshot is what you see is what you get. If you can create an image that makes the viewer go back and look at it or look at it closer, I think that is the sign of a successful image and a good photographer who was able to set that up. So thanks, Robert Frank, for that quote. I'm going to keep that in mind the next time I go out and take some photos, and I hope you do too. Alrighty, that's enough for this episode. If you'd like me to take a look at one of your images, use the link in the description. Send me that file. Until next time, take a look at one of these other critique sessions, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.